by 2011, I'd figured out I was never going to be Kevin Van Dam. It was pretty obvious. The writing was on the wall. When I started in 2006, my wife and I just had one baby at the house, just been born. By 2011, I had three. My father had passed away in 2009. Yeah, 2009. I fished pretty strong from 06 all the way through 9. And then, like I said, I lived in Oklahoma. We lived 1,000 miles away. I mean, it wasn't like we were talked on the phone every day or anything like that. But dude, it had a big impact on my life. It had a big impact on my life, not only just me and him, but with my relationship with my children and sponsor money and all that. Like, I mean, I wasn't even making enough sponsor money to pay even half of my entry fee. So I had to cash enough checks to be able to pay this bill that I was creating. Well, when you're putting that much work into doing that, like, you're not going to, I couldn't come out in the positive hardly for the family, and I've got a wife and 3 babies at home, and it wasn't working. And I was mad. When you chase a dream and it doesn't work, you can be very jaded about it. I was mad at Bass. I was mad at people that worked at Bass. I was mad at guys that I've competed against. I was mad at the media guys. I was mad at everybody, but a lot of it was my own fault. But I kept all that internal. I never said anything to anybody. That's one thing I've tried to do my entire career. I don't burn bridges. I just kept my mouth shut, put my head down. When I signed up for 2011, I was pretty well done whenever I paid my deposits. But I thought, no, we're going to give it one more try. And, I'm going to finish the year no matter what. That's going to happen. But dude, I remember in 2011, when your first year there, on day 2, if I didn't have enough to get a check, I just throw them back. I mean, guys don't do that on our level.
No,
they don't do that on this level. I remember doing it at Lake Murray. I did it 3 times that year. I just throw them back, like, the hell with it. I'm just ready to go home. I'll go load up my stuff. I want to be home. I remember having tournaments where I remember one tournament at Champlain, I'd made the last day, the top 10. And I drove, they call boat numbers, and I go out. I drive forever to this magic dock that I've got. And I caught the big bass. I mean, every big fish I basically had caught for 3 days come off this dock. And I drive to this dock, and I get there, and there's a family there, husband and wife, grandparents, the kids, all the little kids, the Labradors. And it's not a very big dock. You know how stuff is up north. It's not like these giant marinas.
Yeah.
And they're throwing this toy off the end of this dock, and this Labrador's, into the water. So you're like, well, hell, I drove all this way, and the dock's trash for the day. I don't even want to be here. Like, what am I doing here? I should be doing what that guy's doing. I should be with my family at home. I should be having the picnic with the in-laws and the outlaws. And this is stupid. This. And so let me tell you, when your mind starts going down that road, your competing level is gone. It's out the window. Dude, I should have been happy, and I was miserable. And I remember that. And I came home, and I told my wife, I said, I'll never fish again. Like, I don't want to fish team stuff. I want to sell the boat, install the tackle. I'm done. I want to figure out something else to do in life, but this is not it. And she was like, pump the brake. She's like, look, I get it's been bad. She said, park the truck and boat in the garage. Just shut the door. I don't care if you don't open it for 2 years, but don't sell everything to shit. And that's basically what I did. I stuck it in the garage for a year. So
never went.
No, hell no. I had no interest in going. I started a bunch of house projects. Like, I didn't even know what I was wanting to do the rest of my life. So I came home, and I started up. She would want a swimming pool. So I built a swimming pool. I had to have a new patio out back. So I was like, I'm going to build this huge outdoor kitchen. And then I want to build this hand laid sidewalk that comes from the driveway around. So dude, for 6 months, I mean, it's just me out there. And I'm doing all this hand laid pavers, stacking block, plumbing, kitchen, roof. I mean, bad to the bone stuff. And dude, I built an outdoor kitchen you don't see on $5 and $8 million homes. Granite countertops, I mean, it was bad to the bone. You turn on the music, and there were some nights I found out there that by myself, I'd made it too nice, but you enjoyed it a little too much. But yeah, it was nice. But that's kind of how I got my soul back, was just being by myself, working, nobody around, make my own mistakes, just get my mind off of everything. And then a good friend of mine Jeff Miller came to me and wanted to go have lunch, which wasn't uncommon. Jeff Miller has a son named Jared Miller. Do you remember Jared when Jared was in the Elite Series?
Yeah.
This was about that time when Jared was on the Elite Series. And Jeff had been fishing with Jared, his son, forever, team tournaments. Well, now Jared's gone. And so he was like, I've got this company, it's an oil and gas. We run title. It's a good gig. I've got these men in my office, been doing it 50 years. Come to work with me, for me, and they can train you. You'll be an independent contractor. You want to fish, you'll have some freedoms. And he lured me back in slowly and then got me to fish some team stuff with him. And it all kind of started building back up 13, 14. And by 15, I was like, I want to go back and try something.
So that drive home from the last event, wherever it was, what did that feel like? Was that?
It was the best damn drive I'd ever had in my life.
That's what I wonder. Like, were you in tears the whole way, or were
Hell
you just
no.
like freedom?
Freedom. I'm done. Like it's over. I've had enough of this.
I mean, it makes a lot more sense to me that we didn't talk that much, because
I didn't talk to a soul.
And I show up and I'm like, hey, it's the Elite Series.
Yeah, we were in total opposite places. And I knew that, and I respected, like where you would be and where I would be. I'm not talking to anybody. Zona had actually came to me at the Classic. Maybe last year before last. I had done the MPFL broadcast with, they brought me in. I filled in for Dudley.
Yeah.
And he had a tournament had overlap, and they called me and were like, you be interested in doing this? And I was like, yeah, I can do that. No problem. So anyway, after it was over, it was like a week or two after was Classic, and Zona came up to me and he was like, dude, I got to apologize. I was like, what? And he's like, I didn't even know you could talk. And I was like, well, that's not all exactly your fault.